Hey everybody, hope you guys are all doing okay. Welcome back to Let's Play Chronicon. Last episode, we seemingly didn't make a lot of progress, mainly because I was running a lot of endless anomalies. I did that just to see if our character had gotten stronger, and we have gotten stronger. It's just that it's hard, because of the way our build works, to see that on the trash mobs that you're usually fighting in the anomalies. But I think we did get some materials for our ice beast. Didn't get any ice, but I think we got some sandworm meat, so that was nice. In this episode, as I mentioned before, we're going to be making progress on another... oh, I accidentally gave that over to my beast because I hit the wrong button. That could have been disastrous if I had accidentally sold those. Although I think I have some spare crowns lying around. Anyway, one thing I was just about to say before I interrupted myself was that this episode we're going to be making progress on a different page of the Codex. We're going to be hunting down runes, and the way we're going to hunt down runes is going to be going into elite Dungeon Anomalies. We get a trivial amount of crystals, not even worth mentioning amount of experience, some memory essences, which are actually kind of useful because you can use them for enchanting. But the main thing we're looking for there is the rune stones. Hang on, let me just minimize to check something. Okay, come on. I thought I sensed things slowing down, but I was just imagining it. But yes, we're going to be hunting down runes. But before you do that, I'm actually gonna yoink. Oh, I picked up something that you know what, I guess we can hold on to the blank runes as well. I'm gonna take all of these and I'm gonna put them all on their own separate page in the stash. Just because we did buy some extra stash space last time, and one thing I was wondering last time was how we were going to fill up all the space. Well, this is one way we can fill it up, is by putting in all the runes that we find. Excuse me. And this cough just doesn't seem to be going away, but like it's just going away so slowly. I probably should see the doctor, but you know what? We'll give it another week. Anyway, we're going to be jumping right in and going to those elite anomalies to get those runestones. But before I do that, let me just set a 30-minute timer on my phone. And even though it's not necessary, I'm going to be popping my elixirs. And let me also check to see if it's even. 75, 75. So I have been taking them evenly. Now, let's jump in, hit these elite dungeon anomalies, and for these ones, I'm not even gonna care about, are these, treants? I think those might be treants. So actually, I'm just gonna run back, and I'm gonna... No, I can't run back, because I don't think you can run back in elite dungeon anomalies. Never mind. I guess I was gonna say I'm gonna run back and put my other beast in the incubator, but in these anomalies I don't think there's an escape portal. I think you're just thrown in, and if you can't clear all the levels without dying, then you fail. Of course, there's no possibility of us dying just because we're so far ahead of the curve, but still, I'm a little disappointed that we couldn't put our other beast in. It's okay. It'll all even out in the long run. And as I mentioned before, if we've hit all our other targets and the only thing left to do is I was checking to see if my loot circle was on. It's so faint against this background, but you can kind of see it, especially if I move around a little bit. Yeah, so the loot circle was indeed on. So I am looting. So we'll get a few crystals here and there. Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother, like, clearing these areas, because it's irrelevant. We just want to hit 100% and then go to the next area as quickly as we can. And, I mean, I guess there's no reason not to get kill streaks while you're at it, but it's not something I'm gonna be, like, I'm not gonna waste mental energy planning a route through these low-level areas. And if I leave items behind, I'm just gonna leave them behind. Like, I already have noticed, there's a bit of loot to the bottom left, kind of, that I haven't touched. I'm just gonna leave it. There's a large part of this map that is gonna be untouched as well, because it looks like we're gonna hit 100% very shortly with these group of enemies, and I'm just gonna run. I'm just gonna run. And we are on the 3rd floor, the last floor before the boss. Again, all of this is purely academic. We're basically sleepwalking through. Nothing can touch us. It's basically, we are walking from the entrance to the exit and hoping we hit 100% along the way. And if we do, we are just gonna be moving on without looking back. And looks like we're about to hit 100. We have hit 100 in fact. And you know what, let me just see. What exactly do we get for a streak of 200 and a bit? What do we get? We get pretty much nothing. So exactly, I'm not gonna bother with the streaks in these anomalies. And the boss didn't really, like, he jumped around a bit, but he was never gonna be any kind of a challenge to us. We are still getting 3 gold star items, so that's pretty good. Neither of these were ones we were looking for. But that's good to know, because we are looking for 2 true legendaries to put into our stash. We already have those, but we're looking for I completed the wrong anomaly, didn't I? So I completed the one that gives us rune stones. I needed to do the one that gives us random runes. I messed this one up. I messed this one up pretty badly. Wasted a lot of time in the process too. Anyway, let's just sell this stuff. Okay. When we go back to the anomaly portal in just a moment, I'll show you the terrible mistake that I made. But first of all, let me just put some stuff away. Yeah, see, I went to an anomaly where this is the reward. And those are useful items, but not what the point of this video was. So I did an elite dungeon anomaly. What I should have done was a normal dungeon anomaly where you get random lesser runes. I've made this mistake multiple times in the past. You'd think I would learn eventually. Well, you would be mistaken. And had we done a regular dungeon anomaly, I think we would have even been able to leave and put our other beast in the incubator. Which we could do now, but we're not going to do it now because this is an ice level, and we need all of the clear ice that we can get. So, a bit of a slow and very confused start to this episode, but eventually, you know, the little hamster wheel inside my head started turning, and I realized what it was that I actually needed to do in this episode. And I mentioned in the previous one that we did that I'm not going to be trying to run around, you know, full clearing areas, but this is an area that we are going to kind of try and full clear, because we do want to get all the ice that we can find. It's a very annoying crafting material to collect, just because you can only get it in certain environments, and difficult to find unless you're actively looking for it. And so, on the rare occasions that we run across an environment where we can find it, I will try and take full advantage of that. Try and get as much of it as we can. We are already close to 100%. And you get crushed ice, I keep calling it crushed ice, clear ice, by destroying the environment. The ice in the environment. One thing I'm gonna do. Let me do just clear things out a little bit. One thing I want to do is I want to switch out my. I want to keep the magnetic device. I want to switch out Finder's Keep for Havoc. So this one will automatically break items around me, including the environment. And because we collect ice by breaking the environment in these icy areas, it's going to help me make sure that I don't leave ice behind. Now, what we are giving up by taking Finder's Keep off is that chests will no longer be automatically marked on the map. Although in this case, you see the chests that were previously marked on the map are still marked. So maybe you could see it as a bit of an exploit, is that you come onto the map with Finder's Keep, and then you switch to something else. But number one, that's very cheesy, and number two, I feel like that would be very, very tedious to do. And then every time you switched, every time you like change out your gear, your equipped items, or even the runes, the artifacts rather, equipped on your beast, you lose your elixirs and you have to apply them. So I'm not gonna be doing that too often. Just gonna run around, picking up some ice. It's a bit relaxing as well. So I'm not, as types of grinding go, running around picking up ice is oddly soothing, I have to say. And if it gives us a decent amount of ice in the end, then so much the better. Alright, I feel like we have done a pretty good job getting stuff. And let's make our way towards the exit. Alright. This little igloo will take us to Section 2, and now chests are no longer marked. That's okay. Not too worried about that. I'm just gonna run around killing dudes to get the 100%. But mainly I'm gonna be running around smashing stuff and picking up ice. Oh. Already a third of the way in terms of the percentage. So we are clearing this pretty quickly. Alright. I mean, piling up a pretty good streak, but, it's not gonna give us that much. But you know what? It's okay. It is okay. Already at the exit, we are gonna turn around and we're gonna go to the bottom of the screen, just because I want to pick up as much ice as I can find. Oh, already we're 18 minutes into my 30-minute timer. Largely because of the time I wasted doing the wrong anomaly type at the start, and also because we then came into an ice anomaly, so I wasn't speeding through it the way I would normally do. I am instead taking my time running around, picking up all the ice I can find. So, might not get as much progress made in this video as I initially would have been hopeful for, but that's okay. You know, it's not a race. The worst I can say about not making as much progress as I planned is that I'll have to play this game more, and it's not like that's a punishment, right? This is a fun game, and I was always going to take my time, always going to enjoy myself. Having said that, it's probably a good idea for me to actually remember which anomalies give you what. That's some good basic knowledge to have in the back of your head whenever you start on a session. Is my loot circle on? It's so hard to see, but it is on. One way to tell whether it's on is to see if you're automatically picking stuff up as you walk into it. But yeah, our circle is on. Where was the exit? Well, let's run back here, pick some of this stuff up. The exit is up there. Let's just run around. Nothing here. Maybe a bit of ice. Maybe a bit of ice. Maybe not. Okay, let's run here. And this is much darker than the previous level. It does make the loot circle easier to see, so I'm okay with it. Alright. Another thing about the ice is that, I mentioned this before, it's very hard to see on the ground unless multiple chunks kind of get stuck together. Then there's a little number next to it indicating how many of that resource there is at that spot. So even with the auto loot and the loot circle, there's a very good chance that some ice is going to be just left on the ground because I just didn't walk next to it. But it's okay, as long as we're getting most of it. As long as we're getting most of it. Alright, we're surprisingly not at 100%, despite having come to the exit. So I guess this area is larger than I initially assumed it would be. That's okay, that just means more places to run around to pick up clear ice. Alright, let's keep on going through, and I think now we've kind of hit the limit of what this area has to offer. So let's turn around and go to the exit and kill this boss and see what we get. Ooh, is he gonna drop sandworm meat? 398? He doesn't drop sandworm meat. But he did drop the other material, and I did see we did get a couple of runes. Hopefully they are new ones. We'll find out in just a moment. But first, let's sell some stuff. Lifeguard, we don't need. And the rest of the stuff we can just sell. Excuse me. And you... Yeah, we got a couple Warden runes this time, and one of these materials. Yeah, I guess I'll throw everything over at once. Let us sell. I guess we already sold all the unique items. Alright, now let's put this stuff in our stash. Or should we run some more anomalies? Let's put it in our... You know what? Let's go ahead and run an anomaly, and we'll keep running anomalies until we hit the 30-minute mark, because these are short, and especially if I'm not full clearing them, we're not going to be running that low on stash space. And because these are the basic anomalies, we do have a return portal. So I'm just gonna be... Oh, Fey enemies. Fey enemies. I am gonna take full advantage of this by running here and putting you on the incubator. And now let's continue, see how much Fey dust we can gather. Nobody down there. We needed about 200 Fey dust to start off. And looks like we got some dense groups of these enemies, so might be able to get some good stuff done. Does this mean I'm going to try and full clear this area? Still probably not. Because I'm much less worried about the materials for this woodland beast. Because Fey enemies, when you do find them, you tend to find a lot of them at once. Treants are the harder thing to find, because when you find them, they are in smaller groups, similar to sandworms, but still, I think, easier to farm up that material than the sandworm meat. Let's just pop down here, make sure... Ah, there was another group. Very nice. Alright, now let's run to zone 2 of this anomaly. And what do we have here? Oh, we got sandworms, so we got to run back and put our other... Oh, and now we've got a bit of slowdown. Okay, what is Windows attempting to do? We got about 40 Fey dust. Not bad, but we're gonna have to put you back. Alright, now let's go. Let us go and take... Oh, they've got... fairies here, but but they also have sandworms. So like it's a tough choice, but I think we've got to pick sandworms if we're picking between the two, because they are harder to farm. I feel like I've made the right choice. It is unfortunate that we had to put the other beast out of the incubator, because you only find materials for the beast that is in the current incubator. No other materials for other beasts will drop while a different beast is in the incubator. But you see what I mean though, look how many groups of these Fey enemies we're fighting compared to the small number of sandworms, despite the fact that both of them are enemies for this area. So you can see why I'm prioritizing the one that is rarer to find. Like, even in maps where you find them, it's still very hard to farm it up. That's why I'm confident that I have made the correct choice here. Any more of them? Not there. Okay. Let's continue. Let's keep going. What sort of enemies do we have here? Looks like none of the enemies are relevant, so we're just gonna blast our way through and complete this anomaly quickly as possible. Already a quarter of the way through. I'll kill some enemies down here before I start going up, because I don't think we'll have enough kills if we just went straight to the exit. Now I'm starting to feel a bit more confident. We'll kill a few more. And now I'm gonna start going to the exit, and I think killing the enemies along the way should should be able to bring me to 100%. Let's see if I'm correct in that assumption. I may have miscalculated because I'm not seeing that many enemies. Like, we're at 90. Oh god, how awful would it be if I have to run all the way back down just to kill a couple of enemies. No, I think we're gonna just barely make it. Yes, we did. Oh, and there were quite a few enemies on top, so it was a moot point anyway. So let's quickly take this dude down. Excuse me. Another couple rune stones in the bag. Let's go back to Tinker's Domain. Sell some stuff, and I think we'll have time for maybe one more. Maybe one more. This is Tear of the Archdruid, which I'm gonna assume we already have, because I went through all my items. Hey, and now we got 2 general runes. That's good. And we got one of these. Hey, nice. A bottomless bag. We are collecting these for our other characters. Alright. Now let me just sell all the trash. And make sure I'm not accidentally selling something I need to keep. I don't think we need any of this stuff. Alright. And the beast doesn't have anything. Okay, good. Now let's pop our elixirs and go in for yet another regular dungeon anomaly. See what kind of environment we have, what kind of enemies. Okay, looks like none of these enemies are relevant to us. Wait. Were those Fey enemies? I killed them too quickly. No, I don't think they were. I think they were these. Were they? Like, I think there might be Fey. Oh no, there were these root enemies. Alright. So I'm gonna not go in and I'm not gonna swap my beast over. But yes, I just walked through a bunch of enemies in the first zone trying to figure out what... Oh, they are Fey enemies, but I've already wasted most of them. It's very hard to see. Very hard. It's okay though, as I mentioned, Fey enemies, not particularly rare, because it's an entire class of enemies, and I think... I don't know if necessarily more enemy types qualify as Fey, but when you do find them, as I mentioned before, you find lots of them. Where sandworms are fewer and farther between. Alright. Try not wasting time. This is probably gonna be our final run for the day. I think we gained a couple mastery levels as well, which is nice, but I'm not going to be spending them until I hit 100. And then I'll just spend 100 points at once. I think the portal has already opened, so let's go quickly. If we're fast... No, I think I hear Fey enemies. And I'm gonna swap my beast. I was gonna say, if we're fast enough, maybe we can start another anomaly. If the timer is still going, we might be able to. There's a good chance. Yep, definitely these are Fey enemies that I can recognize. And also looks like some treants as well. So we're going to be making double progress. Might even be able to completely finish the treant bark requirement. But we'll see. We're definitely, once again, making the right call, going in to switch my beast. Getting a nice kill streak, but irrelevant because we're in a low-level area. But still, I guess, it does feel very satisfying, especially with the controller. The bit of rumble that you get when you hit the different streak milestones. Yeah, this is a real small area. I don't know how much we got, but, you know, it's fine. Let's skip this cutscene. And I thought you were dead, but you jumped. You were already dead. The bleed was gonna kill you, but you jumped anyway, so good for you. So let's run back. How full is the beast's inventory? Not that full. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sell this stuff, and we are gonna do one final run. We're gonna jump, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quickly put my ice beast back. He is the default beast. And we're gonna go in once again. What sort of enemies are we fighting? None that seem particularly interesting in terms of what we're collecting. So it's really just another case of blitz through this as quickly as possible. We still have 1 minute before my timer expires. So it's definitely gonna be our last anomaly. The timer is gonna expire while it's still on. But you know what? It's fine. We're having a good time. And it kind of makes up for, you know, the incorrect anomaly that I did at the start. Alright. Let's go. We're close, or we have the potential to hit 500, but I don't really care. I just want to hit 100%, that is, and go to the next area, and I'm going to be able to do that like this. And now I'm just going to run to zone 2. What sort of enemies are we fighting here? Ooh, some treants. Okay. Okay. There's my timer having finished counting down. So we're gonna put our other beast back. Oh, we are done collecting treant bark, so that is fantastic. We're gonna stick with our ice beast unless we also see fey enemies. Okay, that is very good. That is very good news. That's one thing that we can permanently check off the list. And are there fey enemies on this map? No. I'm just gonna say no. Not an ice map, so we're not gonna be getting any clear ice for our other beast. But you know what? That's okay. Just wanna rush through this quickly as possible. Some nice items are dropping. True legendaries. We are getting 3 gold star true legendaries here, so should pick those up when they drop. In case they happen to be one of the ones that I'm looking for. But I am just gonna run to the next zone. We're gonna... Okay, these are also treants, but not relevant to us, and... Oh, those are fey enemies, okay. Okay. I'm trying to use the portal, thank you. Okay. So we are gonna switch to our other beast. And we need a little bit more than 100 Fey dust. So let's go ahead and see how much we can find. Alright, let's carry on. Alright, this is another one of those maze kind of areas where it's very difficult to keep your streak going. Not that it even matters, but you can run into layouts like this even when you're doing endless anomalies. So it's something to keep in mind that you may, when you're trying to get a good streak going in a high level area, you may run into an awful layout like this. And I'll be honest, I don't have a good way of dealing with it. Like, I would have to practice the layouts specifically, and because it's random, you only get these once in a while. It's hard to even build up the muscle memory for it. It's because you don't see it that often. It reminds me a little bit of when I was playing games like Dead Cells, where it was very difficult to practice certain bosses because you wouldn't see them in every run, right? And you'd have to spend like half an hour just getting to the boss. And I think now they've added in one of the recent updates a mode where you can practice boss fights. But early on, if you were playing the game like legit, without like cheating and adding a practice mode on your own, not really cheating, but you know what I mean. So the hard map layouts in the anomalies, I kind of see them as similar to bosses, just because of how specific your approach has to be. And without practicing, it's pretty much guaranteed that it'll end your streak if you run into one, unless you're extraordinarily lucky. Alright, didn't mean to go into a speech about map layouts, but just something that occurred to me while I was making my way through that winding forest. So now let's just kill this guy. He was a tree boss, so appropriate for the... Oh, our thing is full. So I was going to say a tree boss, so appropriate for the area. Maybe it's scripted that certain environments get certain bosses, although maybe it's just random. I don't know. Anyway, it's cool that this ominous looking forest area had a treant as its boss in the end. Alright. Now let's see what we found in terms of runes. Ooh, yeah, we already got that bottomless bag earlier, so that's not a new thing. Now, what do you have? We got some more runes for us. Looks like the game is working the way it's supposed to, in that we're not getting repeat runes. Let's confirm. Yep, none of the ones we got are stacking with each other. So these are all different from each other. Now, whether they're different from the ones we already have in our stash, we'll find that out shortly, but at least in this session we didn't get any repeats. Did we need Athos? No, we just need a 3 gold star D'Artagnan to keep as a spare. I may have already found one and sold it, but that's a very, very low priority thing. And one that I might even just give up on. If I happen to remember it, I'll put that in our stash, but let's not even worry about it. That's Gaia that we don't need. Alright, now let's go to our stash and see. Okay, so for a page with runes in it. Excuse me. So this is how much space they're taking up right now. If all of them are... Well, how many runes get placed beyond this spot will determine how many new ones we found. For example, if we put all our runes in and none of them were new, then they will all stack up with some of these. If one rune was new, then we'll have one rune in this spot. If two of them are new, then we'll have one there and one here, and so on. So this will be a way to find out how many of these 8 runes that we picked up are new. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do exactly that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Drum roll, please. And we got... seemingly all of them were new. So the game is indeed working the way it should. And just to confirm, in our Codex, a lot of these spots have indeed been filled out. So I think a couple more videos of rune farming and we should fill them out. I think maybe the way it works is that from the Dungeon Anomalies, they are guaranteed to cycle through in a certain pattern where they don't repeat, whereas the runes that you find randomly can be any one of the runes that you're eligible to find. So those can be repeats. So, you know, some of these ones, I guess, we've found extra copies of during our travels. And let's also put our bag away. Alright. I think that was a productive session. Let's do one final thing. Ooh, 899. Almost at the 900 mark. So not quite ready to... Excuse me, not quite ready to upgrade this beast just yet, but we're getting there, What I will do though is I will switch back to my ice beast, just to make sure I don't forget, because this is the one, the high priority one that we're working on, and we made some good progress on this one too. Got a decent amount of clear ice, a good amount of sandworm meat as well, and yeah, I think that is going to be all for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Next episode, I think we're going to be doing more rune grinding. We're going to be doing more regular anomalies. And getting the rest of our... Oh, I keep accidentally giving things to my beast. And this was a very bad thing to have done, because that was something that was bound to my up arrow on the D-pad, and moving it to the beast's inventory has oh no, and oh god, has unbound it. Now I'm gonna have to use this one, because I'm gonna have to use this one twice, because they went out of sync somehow. Okay, come on. Okay, or now that silliness is behind us, what I was gonna say was we are done grinding for this episode, but in the next episode we're gonna continue farming for runes. We've got 5 more warden runes to find, and 8 more regular runes. So that's 13 runes, and if we spend an entire episode efficiently farming for runes through these anomalies, I think we might be able to do it, assuming the game keeps working the way it is working, cycling through runes without repeating. So yes, that is going to be the plan for the next episode. So once again, thank you for watching, hope to see you in the next one, and, you know, if you like the video, you know, maybe consider leaving a like, and if you are interested in watching more, you know, you may want to consider subscribing. But yes, I hope to see you in the next one, and until then, take care.